on. I have 6 people attacking me right now. Everyone, one at a time.
Hold
on. I have multiple people coming at me. Jeremy, the fact is, there are many cases where nothing is done about people taking videos in fucking bathrooms. There are thousands of cases, and you see tens of thousands of videos on TikTok and shit in a bathroom.
Angry people.
It is not a protected space, bro.
I agree with you doing
Oh my god, bro! I have 5 people coming at me, and no one will let me answer a question, bro. Like, come on.
Well,
you're bringing up stuff that's irrelevant to the topic.
No, I am not. No, I am not. How are you saying it's irrelevant when these are cases directed at your issue, bro?
The question is, should audio and video recording be allowed in public
Absolutely
spaces?
not.
Also,
because a bathroom that you do not own in a public area is a public bathroom.
They're protected areas, you dumb fuck. The same as
they obviously are not when there are thousands, there are tens of thousands of pictures of people in bathrooms.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Like the poll.
They still have protected areas, the same as fucking bathroom.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Give me 1 second to everybody that's advocating for the public recording. So you're all cool with the pervert filming your child walking outside in the street? You cool with the fucking pervert filming your child while it walks outside in the street? Huh?
Yeah, because laws gonna change that.
You weirdos! You weirdos!
That doesn't matter. That actually doesn't matter. You don't have to be cool with it. The simple fact is if he's out on the public street, he's got the right to do it.
Oh, that should be legal.
Can you hear me?
Honestly, I'd rather him record my kid and go home and do something with it than be jerking off in the bush.
What the fuck?
Oh my fucking god! Hold on. Did JS just agree he would let his kid be masturbated to behind fucking closed doors? Are you fucking retarded?
I am no longer taking any part in this conversation.
Jesus!
Game over.
I think there are protections that are afforded to children for particularly that instance.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't
they should
record
be.
it.
They should be.
Not okay.
Yeah,
but the sheer point is like whether or not you like it does not really indicate whether or not you can, right?
It's not about liking. Should it be legal or not? That's the prompt.
Yeah, and I don't think that is legal for them to just sit outside and record children. I think
it is.
At least
it's also
I believe there are protections that are afforded to children for that.
Then why are there tens of millions of videos online of people sitting outside of a store live streaming with children walking outside?
Are you saying that just because something is illegal, people don't do it?
No, that is not what I'm saying. But you're saying it's enforced. I'm saying it is not.
That's the exact fucking argument you're making.
It sounds exactly like that.
It is not enforced like you try to claim, bro. That is my statement.
Much like every single law.
It's also two separate questions because
so what's your point?
Audio and video legislation are two different things. So most states will allow video, like if it allows video recording, audio is a different thing. It won't. Some states you can do video recording, but you can't do audio recording. So it's two separate issues. But
that's not entirely, like I said. There are many videos online of people in public areas where they have.
This is not an argument,
dude. You're saying
there are many examples of murder.
Again, every time I speak, I have 7 people speaking at me.
Look, Chase,
y'all are hoping.
People here in the state that I live in that smoke pot. Guess what? Pot's a fucking felon here.
Yeah, that's what he's.
It's still a felony across the
United States. You're a dumb fuck. That's what you are.
I am not a dumb fuck. Y'all are just all spurging at the same time. I try to have one conversation. I'm having 7.
You're spurging nonsense. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
bro. Yes, I do know what the fuck I'm talking about, Jeremy.
You clearly don't.
And this is the thing. This is a valid.
Again, difference of countries does not mean I do not know what I'm talking about because there's dozens and thousands of cases. and many examples online of people filming in places they're not supposed to. It is never fucking enforced. You still have not went after that first point I made 7 fucking minutes ago.
Most of those states are probably single-party consent states where they're allowed to do that.
What is enforcement?
Oh my God, Cope.
He was found
Fucking
innocent.
Cope.
Whether or not it's a law or not. What does
How's that a
enforcement
cope?
have to do with it?
You can't just say cope to everything. That's not an argument, dude.
No, because you're not actually engaging, bro.
2v2.
I said most of those are single-party consent states where that's allowed. That's why it doesn't get prosecuted. If you made a YouTube video where you're recording people in a 2-party consent state, your video would get taken down.
Let's
And the person could press charges.
go.
Bring the sword, boys.
2v2, Chase, Jeremy, James, and Puff.
Should have put him
Let's
in. They actually
fucking
made.
go. I gotta move Teriak over here to the soul room. Everybody, don't forget. All right, Teriak only has 80 left to bring him back. Okay, so you can work on that if you'd want to. All right, we got a 2v2 though here, so let's get everyone else into the back. All right.
Oh boy.
Damn, Infantry got
Yeah, it's
buff.
working on the zoom up.
Sheesh.
I didn't
Uh,
even
Infantry gets so buff.
finish. He's not there yet.
Home. Okay, so here we go. And this was the same side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me and Jeremy were on the same side.
Yeah, okay. I was just making sure.
I don't know, James. You were saying no in the beginning. Same with Puffy and me. So what? Where are
wait
you
a
now?
minute. Wait a minute. So what are you talking? What are we talking? Well, what are we?
Oh my
determining?
God,
James,
Oh
James,
my
you
God.
like
Me and Puffy
if you
and
put
Chase
butter
are
on
all
both
the same
sides.
Hold up. Let's not debate yet. Hold up, James. What side of this are you on?
I'm like no cameras. Like every like
Again, so it's 3v1. Change topic.
Yeah.
So I
Let's,
James, are you
thought we were talking about like I didn't know.
let's try- yeah,
what
let's try another
I don't get
topic.
why
Hold
you
up,
were
hold
coming
up.
after me when I'm a nay. Like, come on, bro.
I'm not an
Yeah,
idiot.
Well, coming
We
at
got
you on
2 minutes
I'm
added,
just
so that
about
brings
the
it up to
topic. I just
10,
came up
and then
with
we
a
got
result.
another
It's
2
all
minutes
about
added,
information.
brings it up to 12 to start. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's let me get that going across
Let's
the
get a
bottom.
topic.
Chase,
But
Chase,
let's
the
get a
people
topic
just-
for you guys. One of the topics I brought up earlier, let me see where you guys stand, because I don't think you guys were on when I brought this up. It was the first topic, and it was just Teriak and Brick at this point. Where was it? Here. Internet censorship is more positive than negative.
No.
I would say yes, depending on what you're talking about. Censorship.
Oh.
No.
Uh,
So Jeremy says no. James says yes. Chris, Chase, are you guys there?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm waiting for them because I'm here to advocate, bro. I'm here to get better. If they don't want to, that's up to them.
It's difficult. It can go both ways for me.
All right, so this is going to be a 3v1. Let's go.
No,
Say your
wait.
time.
What did you say? What did you say? Puffy?
Yo, no, it can go both ways from Puffy. Puffy.
Chris,
it can
that's
go both ways.
a bad engagement. Look,
I
they're not
don't know who
saying
Chris is.
they're not
I
saying
don't
that
know who
positive
Chris
can't
is.
come from it. They're saying more positive than negative.
Right.
Which one do you think is more?
Nah.
Yes, there can be
No.
positive, there can be negative. Which one is more? Which one
Right.
outweighs?
Oh my God! hurry
You
up.
guys get hit with bricks, or what happened?
I still haven't eaten my pizza. Y'all wasting my time. Let's go.
I'm a little bit fucked up. Calm down, Beaver. Calm down.
No,
Yeah, don't get wet. Don't get the beaver wet.
bro,
Calm down.
I want to eat my pizza.
Yeah, eat this ass.
You made me do this.
Name change.
so eat your pizza.
I can't. I keep getting into fucking arguments.
Right,
because you yelling at everybody.
Do you guys not have an answer, or what's going on?
I'm waiting for a majority, bro. It can be a 3v1. I do not care.
Wait, the last one you just said new topic because it's a 3v1. Now you want it to be a 3v1? What is that?
No. The reason I said new topic was because me, James, and Chris are all on the negative. Jeremy was the only one on the positive by their own states.
Yeah, and he doesn't care.
In this topic, you or Chris, you guys are doing a grumple right now. What are you guys doing?
Okay, wait a
you
second.
You guys just say yes or no to the prompt, or
I'll argue either side.
Can't do that.
I gave you a no to this prompt, so I did not.
Yeah, it's more positive.
Well, no, I know Jeremy and James.
Yeah, it's more positive
here, but I don't know why.
Yeah,
Bro,
it's more positive. It's more positive.
It's 100% a positive.
Okay, so now it's okay. So Jeremy's the only one on the other side. Jeez Louise.
This is kind of the issue. Just make it 3v1.
Well, why don't you
we've only went through 2 prompts. The issue was you guys wouldn't answer. What are you talking about, man?
You said you can take either side.
James keeps flip-flopping his statement.
Whistleblowers should not be protected.
Yeah, they should.
Oh, they should, yeah, for sure.
No.
Okay, then that's our topic.
See how easy that was? That's great. Beautiful.
Advocate everything. That's my statement.
You made me do this.
Name change.
That's dirty, cat.
All right, chat, listen up. Listen up, chat. We are starting, okay? We are starting at 12 minutes, okay? If you guys want to add on a minute, it is 10 to add on a minute. It is 60 to solo judge. If we don't get a solo judge, it will go to the chat poll, and the 2 lowest on the poll will lose their souls. Fighters, good luck to all 4 of you. Let's get it.
Well, I think this should be protected because, first off, they're whistleblowers, and they should be protected because they're doing a service to the country, and they're also trying to, get all the corruption out by, whistleblowing on the corruption.
Well, I mean, it's plain and simple. The simple fact is whistleblowers should be protected because if they're not protected, then that in itself is a discouragement for coming forward and actually exposing the wrongdoing that is happening, right? So you should be afforded some protections, even just simply anonymity when you come forward is a form of protection. You should be granted.
Well, that's not how whistleblowers work. If people come out and say things that are wrong, that goes up the chain of command. A whistleblower is somebody that defies their fucking upper people and shares information they're not allowed to share to people like Brace.
Yeah, but it's corrupted information.
That's communist bullshit.
It's corrupted. It's not corrupted, but it's
if it's bad if the information they're sharing is valid, they should be protected to do so.
Oh yeah, they should just give out codes and nuclear codes and all this shit. Yeah.
All right, answer Puppy, and then I have a question.
Shouldn't you have a right to know of bad things that are going on?
No, you don't have a right to know shit. No,
okay. I have a question. How many of hold on, Puffy. How many of you have ever had a job that have made you sign a non-disclosure agreement while signing up?
Well, that doesn't mean that I would listen to
hold on, James. A non-disclosure agreement, if you do not know, means you do not talk about it the entire time. Everything is done in-house. You take nothing private.
Yeah,
that is
make that agreement.
But the NDA is generally protected about like trade secrets and things like that, right? They're not going to protect from exposing
anything related to your job is technically a company secret.
There are no agreements that you would sign that would block you from exposing anything that the
Jeremy,
There 100% is.
Jeremy, hold on, Beaver, hold on. Chris, hold on, Beaver. Chris worked on a Marvel movie. He couldn't even say shit to his own family about it. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
They can block you from saying you're working on such project.
Yeah, you're not allowed to share any fucking information. No information can be shared.
Not only can they not block you from exposing the wrongful acts they're doing, you actually
you guys don't understand NDA.
Y'all have obviously never signed a non-disclosure agreement.
They don't know shit
a
about
non-disclosure
NDAs,
agreement means nothing about your job can be talked about outside of the company. So you're saying
trade secrets.
Well, okay. So if someone then took someone else's life while on the job, does that therefore cannot be disclosed based on it? Like a non-disclosure agreement?
Hold on. It is up to the company to disclose it. If you are under a non-disclosure agreement about what goes on at work, you cannot speak about it unless it is public knowledge.
Just vanish from the
No,
planet.
it is not BS. I have had to sign dozens of fucking non-disclosure agreements, bro.
None of that is because the NDA blocks everybody from exposing that person.
Y'all obviously do not understand what non-disclosure means, because when you have to sign the non-disclosure agreement of a company,
NDA does not restrict you from
anything that is on company grounds has to go through the chain of command, otherwise it cannot be discussed in public.
Okay, so you guys think if I work for Lockheed and Martin or fucking BlackRock or any of these companies that make fucking weapons, I should just be able to fucking talk about it? Are you guys retarded?
If you're breaking the law, you have an obligation to expose them for breaking the law.
Yeah, great. If I work for the military, I'm just allowed to tell everybody what I'm doing. Are you fucking retarded?
Laws in what country? Laws in what country? Because the fact of the matter is, when it comes to like BlackRock and everything, they have to go based off the country they're operating in. Pardon, Jeremy?
The country in which they and you are operating. You realize that but
a non-disclosure agreement means hold on. But a non-disclosure agreement signed by a fucking somebody who works in a company literally means you cannot discuss anything about said company outside of company walls, dog.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I've signed dozens of these, dude. I have to sign one on a lot of job sites I've worked at in the past. Again, you're using your hold on, y'all are using your narrow identity of United States. In the majority of the world, a non-disclosure agreement cannot be talked about outside.
I have ways around that simply because they're breaking the law. There are allowances for me to go against.
Oi, listen here. How did Elon Musk made his spouses sign non-disclosure agreements? They weren't fucking working for him.
Was he breaking the law?
Well, did they sign non-disclosure agreements? Did they sign non-disclosure agreements? Fuck's sake! You guys retarded.
Oh my God, y'all are dumb. Because you obviously don't know what a non-disclosure agreement is.
Non-disclosure of anything.
They're breaking the law. You have an obligation to expose that. NDAs don't cover that.
Illegal.
All right, yeah. 3 of you talk at once, bro, because that makes it so much easier to hear. It's okay.
No, they still need to say why fucking people should be able to give out military secrets at work for Lockheed and Martin. Just because they assume something is illegal, the whistleblower dictates that it's not done through proper protocol. That's how what a whistleblower is. If you have a fucking complaint, you can take it up. There's a chain of command. That should not be abrupted. That should be followed.
I don't think they assume that it's illegal. I'm pretty sure they do the research before
there's a chain of command to go up as well. But if the corruption goes all the way up, then there's got to be a way beyond that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sounds like conspiracy theorist bullshit.
Hold on. By your definition, there has to be a way around it. That is whistleblowing, which is breaking a non-disclosure agreement, which opens you up to charges by the court for breaking your non-disclosure agreement.
If there are criminal actions being done by the organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe in America, but not in the most of the world. If you sign hold on. Bro, let me finish my statement before y'all interrupt. Y'all are being fucking dumb right now. Let me finish my statement.
You've been being dumb all night, Chase.
Bro, I'm always fucking dumb up here. Change my fucking mind, dog. Like, but y'all are being fucking so dumb.
How are we being so dumb?
Bro, because you're not understanding what a non-disclosure agreement is.
You guys literally don't know the difference. You guys literally don't know the difference between a restriction of trade and a fucking NDA. Who's the retarded ones?
If they're doing something immoral,
okay, and you're saying there's not hold on, and you're saying there is not anti-retaliation laws in place in America against whistleblowers?
Oh, as far as I know.
There 100% are, dog. So the fact of the matter is you're wrong.
So then prove it.
Anyone who breaks a non-disclosure agreement signed for by the employee who accompanied goes outside. Dude, there's many occasions
something in the law that says it's against the law.
Everybody should just be a bunch of tattletaling bitches and have a fucking subjective determination of when they think somebody is being a fucking bad man.
Hold on.
And then they just allowed to fucking cry about it.
It's not if they think. It's if they're actually right in what they're saying. If the company is actually breaking the law, then they should expose that.
Okay, and when they get hold on. When they get fired, hold on. You just made a point. When they get fired for breaking that non-disclosure agreement and gets charged because they talk about company. James, you're 100% dumb because this actually happened to me. I broke a non-disclosure agreement for a company. I was fined $15,000. You're an idiot, bro.
In Canada, I'm pretty sure
we're talking about the majority. Y'all are only talking about the states. I'm talking about the world, bro.
Wait, Angry Beaver, when the prompt did it say America? Wait, excuse me, when the fucking prompt did it say America? Where did America stand in the prompt? Fucking nowhere, that's where.
I'm not speaking
Y'all will not leave. My America does this, but we are talking about globally, bro. We are talking about the majority versus the minority.
We could use American law as an example to justify the should, you dumb shit.
But the fact of the matter is, most countries, if you break an NDA by any means, you are. Oh my God! See, so bad. We are talking. Hold on. We are talking about globally, and y'all are saying only in America. That is so bad faith, and y'all don't even realize it.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? They don't understand the definition of a whistleblower. Whistleblowers go to the media, you fuckers. They don't go to the police. If you go to the police, you become a part of the investigation. That's not a fucking whistleblower. A whistleblower is somebody that talks to the media. You fucking assholes.
I don't care who you expose the wrongful loot.
Oh, yeah. You can just fucking, yeah. No chain of command.
I don't give a shit if you put it on a sign in front of the fucking building.
Yeah, if things are illegal, you need to go to the fucking police. You don't just fucking talk to the media. Don't go talk to CNN when people are doing illegal shit. You talk to the fucking police.
But when they do something against the law, you can totally whistleblow.
That's an informant. That's not a whistleblower, you
that's a whistleblower.
That's a fucking informant, you tards.
I'm pretty sure.
You do realize
that on drug dealers are fucking whistleblowers.
Hold on, Puffy, hold on. You do realize every time the word whistleblower is applied, it 98% of the time it requires a company secret being outed publicly. which
It's
they
not to the
have a
police.
non-disclosure agreement saying they will not talk about any company secrets, any company methods, any company training procedures, or any company fucking expectations.
NDA covers other stuff too. It covers like upcoming products and shit like that too. But if part of the NDA is allegedly to cover illegal practices that the company is doing, that would not be something that the NDA would be allowed to be restrictive of. So
Okay,
yes,
It 100% is because
Okay,
it
the definition of whistleblower for the class
hold on,
according to the
because
government.
if it discloses company practices, company
definition of
training
whistleblower
methods,
according
or
to the
company
company
secrets,
practices an illegal
that
act,
is
yeah,
100% covered under an NDA, whether it is against the law or not.
Discuss information about wrongdoing such as fraud, waste, abuse, or mismanagement within a government agency or a government contract.
Hey, we're not talking about government, dog. We're talking about the majority versus the minority. Stop leaving the goalposts.
According to the government.
Don't go to government.
Yo, you're explicit. Hold on. You are explicitly stating government and government only. We are talking about the majority, not the minority. 80+% of jobs are private jobs, bro. Stop leaving it.
Wait a second. How did you guys figure out? How did you guys figure out there was government wastage in your government through a fucking organization that was done by Elon Musk? It was called Doge. Doge figured it out. The whistleblowers didn't do shit. You gotta follow proper protocol to resolve fucking issues.
Illicit activity.
If the protocol works, yes,
you're staying away from the
corruption can go all the way.
Well, you said
you guys are just promoting anarchy.
In general, I gave it.
No, the avenue is there. I think the avenue is fine if the corruption goes up.
Yeah, if the proper channels.
But you have to be right.
That's not whistleblowing.
You have to be right. If you're not right, if the wrongful acts are not actually wrongful.
Okay, then hold on.
You guys keep talking about illegal stuff. What if you go and say, "Oh, my boss is racist or sexist"?
Because I actually lost a job because I disclosed unsafe work practices. And when my government tried to fucking, they fired me. Like the company fired me. My government did nothing. They found the company in fucking guilt. They found they were 100% correct. But I did not get my job or any reinforcement. They did not help me. They did nothing. Again, you are talking specifically about America. I am talking about the majority. Y'all refuse to leave. I live in America. America is the only country that matters. Oh my God.
We're talking about Canada. We're talking about America from our perspective.
Nowhere in the prompt. Hold on. Nowhere in the prompt did it say in America. Nowhere in the prompt did it say America, James. You're fucking dumb. Nowhere in the prompt did it say only in America, bro. Where in the prompt did it say only in America? Where? State it.
That's only in Canada either.
So you're fucking dude. In most countries, hold on. In most countries, you break an NDA. That is it.
Real quick. Chat. I am putting one sec, guys. Hold up. I'm putting the poll into the chat right now. Okay, guys. So listen, if you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Angry Beaver on the poll. All right. If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Puffy McLeod on the poll. All right.
What's good with it?
If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Jeremy on the poll. And if you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for James Life Talks on the poll. Everyone in the chat, get your votes in. I'm starting this timer over. You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, Jeremy won that debate.
Come on.
Jeremy won that debate.
Proper protocol. People shouldn't just do whatever the fuck.
I need 2 minutes. I need 2 minutes of silence to repair my ears from that cacophony of 15 minutes of pain.
The death of
didn't I help though, any on that debate? I mean, I thought I did pretty good.
Yeah, you represent America.
I couldn't hear a thing. It turned into noise.
Well, Chase represented Canada, so we're gonna follow that logic.
It's all
small change, give me big money wine. Dollar, 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 dollar,
I went to college with those 3 dudes. We had a good time.
You had a good time in college,
Yeah,
Puffy?
we fucking
Wait
with
a minute,
dollar
what was
dollar. We were all
college
over the
like for you,
place.
Puffy?
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
were dollar
it must
dollar.
have been cloudy.
You.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. And just to be clear, by the way,
Hey,
on
that was a silly comment.
Just to be clear on the previous topic, I never actually stated a position on that. The only thing I came up for was literally to correct the wrongfulness that Chase was spouting on where you can record, right?
Again, you are going off of your limited view based off of America. I am going off of the majority, which was what the prompt was.
So you can win that argument.
Nowhere in the prompt
We
did
have
it
a
say
limited view
only in
because we live in
America.
America.
Hold on. Easy. Where did it say in the prompt only in America? Where did it say in the prompt only in America?
You kept using Canada.
I used America as an example, just like you used your fucking anecdote about.
No, but the fact of the matter is, Canada does not have Hold on. Canada, Amsterdam, Germany, fucking Switzerland, NDAs are NDAs, bro. You cannot talk about them outside of company.
Motherfuckers. All right, listen. 54 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. And if you didn't vote, you're probably a furry lover. All right. Just saying. 54 votes and 31% voted that the winner of the 4-way battle is Puffy McLeod. And coming in second place with 27% was Angry Beaver. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
It's 20 or 28.
Wait a minute. No. So what's happened here is we have a tie for second place at 27% between Jeremy and Angry Beaver, and James Life Talks came in at the very bottom. So first off, we're gonna start off with this. James, tell everybody in the chat where they can find you and why they should bring you back for another shot at the $250 prize.
Well, chat, I thought I had a great argument with that one. I thought so. But
You
I guess
didn't.
I didn't think so.
You didn't.
Do what?
Don't worry about it, James. He's
he's saying I didn't have a great argument. Okay, whatever, Jeremy, whatever. I was on your team, whatever.
Just do your outro. You're good.
At this point, it's just your signature goodbye.
James Live Talks. And all my links are there and everything for y'all to find me on all the other places as far as James Live Talks on YouTube. So just look up at James Live Talks on YouTube.
Word. James, it's always a pleasure having you. And if they bring you back, you know you're more than welcome. But until then, my friend.
You so fatality.
Another soul added into the safe of souls. And that's how it goes on Verbal Kombat Friday, baby.
Yo, can I please get a chance to eat my pizza?
No, you don't have a chance to eat your pizza because there was a tie for second place. What we're gonna have to do here now is put everyone else back into the back here. Okay. So we're gonna throw everyone else back into the back. All right. And we're gonna have to figure out who has second place. Okay. So I see. Okay, let me see if I can bring you guys up yet another topic. Just
easy. We've already got one.
Oh, what is it?
that internet censorship topic. We were already on other sides.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect then. Just so everyone in the chat knows, it's the let me bring it up here. Internet censorship is more positive than negative. And
Right.
So you guys are already on the opposite sides of this, which is great. Chat. Let me tell you how this is going to go. Because this is a tiebreaker, okay? There's not going to be any adding time, okay? We are going to go straight through 6 minutes. If we don't get a solo judge, we will go to the chat poll, and the loser of the poll will lose their soul. So, fighters, good luck to both of you. Let's get it.
All right, Chase. So since you're the affirmative, I'll go ahead and let you open up with why you think censorship on the internet is a good thing.
Because when it comes to censorship of information, that especially on the internet, that includes diagrams and recipes on how to build some of the worst weapons known to mankind, including IEDs up to nukes.
Okay, cool. So let's go back to
No, not let's go back. Fucking state your opinion, bro. Because you're trying to say censorship is okay.
Like, that's fine. I can grant you.
Sorry, censorship is bad. I'm saying it's okay because of
but it is information, and that information can be used for good in certain cases. But
I'm sorry, when in human history, when in human history has a human being having access to a nuke good?
In an open space, censorship is not necessarily a good thing overall, because we can go back to, say, 2020, when there was this this thing going on.
Okay, go after my point, not some other point, because you're shifting goalposts.
That were shared, that were censored, and people were given bad information because of the censorship, and they went and proved that what was being shared and had been censored out was actually correct, and the censorship prolonged us finding those things out. The other thing is censorship on certain actions and things that had happened by certain individuals could have actually changed an election that happened had that information not been censored. So it's a really good
elections are rigged from the start.
That those happen.
But again, you are now stating your position without actually going after my point.
I did
give
go
me
after
one human. Hold on. I asked
is,
you a question. Give me one instance in human history where a human having access to the information of building a nuclear device is a good thing.
Censoring and suppressing information stifles progress.
Okay, so you're saying you want every backwoods hillbilly to have the knowledge how to build a nuclear device to a government capability? Bro, thank you. I just won. You lost. Have a good night.
That stuff would be that's probably patented and would be public information anyways.
No, because patent laws only last so long. The fact, like, what year was it? Fucking 1943 when the first nuclear patent was done. If you disclose it online, there is literally the only thing who will stop you from disclosing it online is the fact that the governments will censor that. If there is no censorship, if I post a diagram how to build a nuclear device online, no one will stop it and everyone will have access to a nuclear device.
Chase, patent law requires it to be posted. It's got to be publicly accessible for the patent. That's how you protect it.
Bro, only certain elements, but there is key elements of most designs that are withheld from the public until after the copyright has done. We have seen this in medication. Hold on. We have seen this in medication where medication recipes are actually censored and you are not allowed to know what the recipe of an actual medication is until a certain amount of time after the recipe has actually been copyrighted before the generic companies who are making all of the medicine will actually go near it.
That would be a trade secret. They wouldn't get. You don't get a patent.
A trade secret again is something that is copywritten, bro. So you're telling me a trade secret where I have a recipe for X device is different than a copyright. Meanwhile, copyright is for the technology used to make said recipe.
And there would be a trade
bro,
secret.
You're shifting goalposts.
It wouldn't even matter. That wouldn't be censorship. That would just be private data. Yeah,
bro,
private
you're just shifting goalposts.
That's not even suppression. That would just be holding it. That has nothing to do.
Again, you have not argued my point. You're saying censor. Hold on. You have still not argued my point. Where I said censorship is good because it stops everyday Joes like me
censorship
from having a proper fucking recipe to build a nuclear device, and you're saying it is negative. Please combat this point.
That's not censorship. That's just withholding.
And me posting online how to build a nuclear device that is not fucking blocked would literally hit thousands, bro. Like, bro, stop being bad faith. Like, tell me where it is a bad thing to censor people who are trying to build nuclear devices or share nuclear recipes online. Where is it bad? Even with most medications, a lot of medications that are in development are trade secrets. They are copywritten because we know if a regular everyday person tried to make this, it would be wrong and it would cause more damage. Censorship is 100% required. You still have not argued this one point. Please fucking argue it.
It doesn't matter. Copyright isn't part of censorship. Copyright protects you from
patents are part
I'll let it get for 7 minutes. See if we have a solo judge.
Devices, bro. So you're okay with my patent for a nuclear device becoming public, so everyone can build this nuclear device with no oversight.
They would not be able to build it. Because the person who owns the patent would actually be able to police whether or not you could build it. It would be illegal to build it.
Boom.
So again, you don't know what the fuck you're speaking of.
It is not illegal, dude. How many things are done every day that are illegal but are not prosecuted? There are tens of thousands. But you're saying you are okay
real quick.
Thousands of people having access to a nuclear recipe.
Beaver, hold up. Chat, I'm putting the poll in right now, okay? If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Angry Beaver on the poll. And if you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Jeremy on the poll. Chat, get your votes in right now. Okay, I'm restarting this timer, and you guys have 2 minutes to vote. And the people in the back, don't worry, I'm going to get you up in just a minute. We have room for another 2 right after this. So, yeah, just give a few minutes to get you guys on here, too.
I have a question for you, Jeremy.
Sure.
Say that there's a country out there where something like CP is legal, right? And they start uploading it to the internet. Should we censor that?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know why he couldn't move off the nuke argument. There's plenty of arguments.
My point wasn't that there can't be good in censorship. But my point is overall, I think censorship is more negative than it is positive.
Where's the facts? Because, like I said, there are thousands of technologies that are not allowed to be public knowledge because they are damaging to public fucking interest. Sure. And you have not argued the actual point.
Again, I can grant you that certain things can and should be censored. That's fine.
Again, so you're okay with censorship. You literally just conceded the debate.
No, he's saying it does more harm than good.
Right.
Bro, that's not what the prompt was. The prompt was whether it is net negative or net good. The fact of the matter is, there will never be an instance where a fucking regular person having a fucking nuclear device is okay.
No, that's not. That's a straw man. You're fucking
The distribution of CP is
I'm
pretty
staying
fucking
on
horrendous.
goal, bro. Censorship is good.
In moderation.
Censorship can be good in certain instances.
You were arguing that.
I agree with that. I agree.
You were
What you're doing is
that
giving-
it is a negative.
Chase, you're giving
you
one
agree
example
to
where
me
it's
right
bad.
now literally states
Or
where
you're
you
doing-
conceded.
All right. We are at 2 minutes for the poll. We had 50 votes. Thank you to everybody who voted. All right. 50 votes and 62% says the winner of the 1v1 is Jeremy. Angry Beaver, tell everybody in the chat where they can find you and why they should bring you back for another shot at the $250 prize.
Bro, I'm the villain of VK. I do not care. Y'all are saying censorship is bad, but I am proving cases where it is good and y'all are not arguing against it. Chat voted for Jeremy. That means chat is fucking dumb. I do not care. Have a good night.
Hey, always a pleasure having you, Angry Beaver. Always a pleasure having you. If they do bring you back, you know you're more than welcome.
Bro, I'm going to drink more. I don't care.
Until then, my friend.
He's a fucking legend.
Your soul is mine.
Fatality.
Another soul added into the safe of souls. And that's how it goes on Verbal Kombat Friday, baby.
Baby.
Verbal Kombat.
You made me do this.
Name change.
Yeah, there's an example of good censorship right there. We censored Chase so he can go eat pizza.
For his benefit.
And we got 2 more to bring up, so let's bring them up. Martae Rails, welcome to the show.
Oh,
you got yourself muted on there.
Chat? How's it going?
Welcome.
You guys probably seen me before.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen you before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emmett, welcome to the show. You're muted as well. Oh, there you go. Oh, you're still not talking.
Yo, what's up?
Oh, there he is. Welcome.
How's it going?
Let's fucking go. All right, chat. Let me see. Make sure I'm caught
Can you
up.
guys hear me, just to be sure?
Yes, we can hear you, Emmett.
I can't hear him.
What? Are you deaf?
Speak up, Emmett. Speak up.
Y'all got
Emmett.
silent now. Are y'all scared or something? What happened?
I'm not gonna bite you.
You made me do this.
Name change.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but the dude got chat written on his back and everything. That shit's fire, bro.
So sick,
I'm sure
How you guys doing? I'm new here. Never been here. First time here, but not to debate. So
Wicked. Yeah, Verbal Kombat. It gets a little crazy sometimes. It's an open panel blood sport debate. The only rules is like no attacking people's children, no doxing, and YouTube terms of service, obviously. But other than that, you just butt in when you need to speak. And so let me see the next topic. Where does actually let me see. What does everyone think about the government should have access to personal data for national security?
Well, I think the government already has access to personal data. I don't know that you would.
Well, I mean, should they though? Like,
yeah, they're gonna have it anyway. That's the best.
Like,
well, it's kind of
purposes.
It's kind of hard to say considering like they're the ones who give you some of that data, right? Like your birth
like a
certificate,
social security number.
They've already got your name and birth date. They've already got they issue your whatever your government
Social.
ID is. They issue that. So they're literally issuing you the data that you would be protecting.
Whoa, what the?
Do you want them in every form of data?
How do you restrict access to something that they're literally issuing you?
Okay, so you understand that means all fucking personal data, not your birth certificate that the government owns, bruv.
That's all considered personal data.
Yeah, so all your personal data, so they should know what your fucking
You made me do this.
Name change.
The government doesn't know all your personal data. They don't know what your body count is. They don't know what weird shit you whack off to at night.
And what would my body count have to do with national security?
I'm saying you're saying they should just know all your personal data.
and Martae, you got a 2-minute mute. You have yourself muted already, so the timer is at the bottom there.
Got it.
If it hit 2 minutes, you can unmute.
Even if Jeremy, every time we have allowed the government in some way to have access to mass amount of data, there have always been things that have proven that jackasses get a hold of the ability and then go like look up their girlfriend or something like that.
It's literally
happens
Edward
over and over.
Snowden and the Patriot Act. No,
Yeah,
it's
Snowden
fine
had a
if the
lot of those
government
accounts in
does
his
that.
shit.
Well,
yeah, they're
I have
saying
no
it's
issue
fine.
with terrorists having their personal data kept.
Even if
even
they
if that
have
includes, even if it,
No,
even if you have
shut
to
up, new
include
guy.
me in that.
Yeah,
Even if you
my
have to
point
include every average person, I think that it would still be better and more beneficial for the government to have that data. I don't necessarily think that they should give it to people, and I don't think it should be easy to access from the outside. But for the most part, I think it's
they
fine.
can get a warrant for that.
Right, Effigy. The point you were making is
For what?
whether or not the public should have access to the information that the government has.
For access.
That information doesn't have to be publicly accessible. But
Where's
sheer
the data
fact is, if it can be justified as for national security, I have absolutely no qualms with the government having that data.
Oh, so
Yeah.
then it's just dependent on who the
That was
person
kind of
is
I
who
do.
owns
the
the
loophole
data
they
to
got
give
in
the
around after
justification for the
9/11, right?
data.
They just
I do
made
think
giant data centers to copy the entire
Well-
internet slice by slice, and they
Well, but
weren't
here's-
accessing at the time, so they
here's
still
an easy-
could copy
Here's
it.
an easy thing I think you could be able to do is I think if the government is keeping tabs on your personal data, you as the owner of said data should have a right to actually query that and know what they know about you.
Yeah, but I would say use some equitable reasoning. Do you have the right to any privacy whatsoever? Period.
I'd like to think I do when I'm.
And I'm not
shit
saying
or
like
something,
rights,
you know?
rights. I'm
Yes.
saying, do you want your privacy?
It's in the Bill of Rights.
You made me do this.
Name change.
Yeah, yes, I think you have a right to privacy, but
You can
again,
unmute now, Martae.
If you believe you
Okay,
should have
can you-
privacy, if you believe you should
Yep,
have, you should
I
stand.
actually
against-
missed the original question, by the way. I didn't hear it.
Oh, the original
The
prompt
debate
here
prompt,
is,
I didn't hear that. That's why I was like kind of silent.
Yeah, no worries. It's the government should have access to personal data for national security. So I usually prompt it in a way that you you either disagree or agree.
I see it. I see it on the screen. Gotcha.
Wouldn't
So
they have to have a reason to say that it's for national security?
Sure.
yeah, as
that's
I
how-
said, if there's a
Yeah.
justification that it is for
Unless
national
public-
security,
unless
I
public.
have no problem with the government having that information. And to
I mean, your
engage
information is public on this website, anyways.
Because the way the prompt is, they should have access to it for national security. So if there's a national security issue, then they get access to it. Not that they just always
I agree. They should have access to for national security purposes, because if they have any other nefarious purposes for this, it makes no sense. But for the prompt, I agree with the prompt 100%.
If you're not doing anything illegal, they don't care about your sex life. They're not going to be like going through your Facebook if you're just some guy.
The ads, man, like, well, no,
correct. No, that's not true. They will. This is why you have to look at their requests and make sure they're not asking you for blanket requests that allow them large swaths of data. Always make sure that their requests are like really specific.
The thing is, you're giving your data to a website, a social media website like this, right?
Okay, but we're also
and that's not the government.
There's also
if you're giving it publicly, that's not really private data at that point, right? So anybody,
that's not the government.
I mean, that's a whole different discussion, right?
These are separate
having
companies.
a bill of rights for your data that you
if you're sharing it publicly, you can't call that private data.
Well, I think that I don't even know if it would be private, because it'd be public information if it's accessing your IP address and all the other shit. So public would be a different definition, whatever that falls on. So we need to flesh out what private data is.
Yeah, but the problem is in order for, maybe I'm wrong, but I would feel like if you're going to call it private data, then you would protect it yourself, right? If you share it openly, you can't really call it private at that point.
Okay, so for
sure, definitionally, it might qualify as private for some people, but if you specifically are openly sharing it, you can't really classify that as private, right?
Okay.
I'm glad
most of your private data is going to be through private companies, right?
Because that can vary.
They can't see my diary.
Yeah, or your private.
Do you want them knowing that you watch
TV cameras at home?
Great, or do you want to keep that to yourself? Right? Example,
which is access through the public internet.
What is
the camera?
It doesn't have to be. You could have closed circuit. It would still be private data. That's my point. If you're talking data, why not everything? All the paperwork in your house, every form of data.
First off, let me apologize for my notifications not being turned on. My phone was on silent mode. First off. Second off, we have a 1v1 request. All right. Or wait. No. A 2v2 request, actually. And it's for JS, Bricky, Abe, and Effigy. So we got to get everyone else here into the back.
Good luck.
JS, Bricky, Abe, and Effigy. So Jeremy, Emmett.
Just going to warn anyone that I end up on their side, right? Okay, if you fuck up.
My sincere apology for missing that. I didn't miss it, but I mean, getting to it late because I didn't have my phone notifications on. If I'm not on streaming, that shit's never on because I don't want to hear it.
But it's better than last week. You just let it die altogether, didn't you? So you couldn't.
Real quick, let's see where everyone is on the current topic, and then if it's not the two people on opposite sides, we'll look for a different topic for now.
The national security data one?
Yeah, so let me bring it back up. Government should have access to personal data for national security.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, if argued in front of a judge, yeah.
If it's tailored, I don't. It's just a wide open access that I don't agree with.
Okay. So you guys are mostly on the same side here. So let me bring up another topic here. Okay. I wanted to wait a little bit to get into this, but it's okay. We can do this for the four-way maybe. National security is more important than individual privacy.
Yeah.
Not a similar. It's kind of a similar question. Yes.
Overall, yes.
Security over privacy. I am gonna have to say the national one, but if it was security and security, No. Like, fuck you, I look after myself kind of thing. You know, but
Where did you say, JS?
I'd take national security over privacy.
Oh, okay. Okay, so most of you are on the same side for this one too. All right, let me bust out my other list here.
Like, I don't see how you could even have privacy if you don't have national security. So
We could argue on the line, though. I mean,
you could, but
there are definitely things that, you know, a dystopian state would say, like, I have to overly secure you so that we can all be safe, you know.
that'd be that'd be
But
a tedium,
in
though.
like a singular matter, can I look into your private information to stop a nuke from going off or something like that? Yeah, I mean,
And that's part of the
national
problem I
security
had with the first one too. Is like, who is controlling the national security at the time? What are
Exactly,
they
it's the
looking
trust
into?
issue.
Like, there's all these.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are kind of in the same area here. Okay. Actually, let me see this. I'm just gonna read this before I put it on the screen because I have it over here on my other computer where I was working on it. Is online anonymity or anonymity? Fuck me.
Anonymity.
Is being anonymous online? Fuck you guys. All right, I'm changing my question. That's what happens when I smoke. All right. Is being anonymous online essential for free speech?
No.
yes. I say yes, man. But I probably could. I definitely.
Wait, did
say
all
yes
of you?
too.
No,
I'm gonna
the
say yes too.
effigy's on.
You're gonna say yes
side
too?
on this one. Yeah.
So it's me and effigy against G's too.
All right. Let's do it then. Look at that. This is the team y'all weren't expecting. All right, Chad, listen. We are starting out. Oh, let me see what's going on here in the chat. Sorry, guys. You guys are getting all ahead of me here. Blood sports debates means you take the opposite when needed. Y'all are terrible, Angry Beaver says. And then name change easy to I'm too young to charge stuff. What the fuck? Yes, it's true. If my wife doesn't plug my phone in, it doesn't get charged, okay?
Or take it off silent.
It stays and dies where it is.
If it dies.
Thanks for the reminder.
Chat. Yeah, see? Exactly. Chat. We are starting out at 8 minutes, okay? If you guys want to add on a minute, it is 10 to add on a minute, okay? If you guys want to solo judge, it is 60 to solo judge. If we don't get a solo judge, it will go to the chat poll, and the two losers of the poll will lose their souls. Fighters, good luck to all four of you. Let's get it.
All of our rights come with responsibilities. Can I make a statement? Shut up. Don't interrupt me, Britt. It's going to take me 10 seconds.
This isn't
all of our
VK,
rights come with responsibilities and accountability. Accountability will be dodged if you take away, if you have anonymity. You don't get freedom of speech to go in the town square and stand on your soapbox with a mask on. We will drag you through the streets, tar and feather you, and throw tomatoes at you. When you go on your soapbox in the town square, you need to be known. Your freedom of press as journalists, you're accountable.
Taking over your fucking soul.
You have to tell the truth.
Privacy, JS? Is one of those rights privacy?
And the First Amendment and freedom of speech, no. It's freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to petition the government and freedom to protest. It's a freedom of assembly. There's no freedom of privacy. Where'd you get freedom of privacy from the First Amendment?
We do have a right to privacy. I didn't say First Amendment, but when you said the rights that we have,
well, we're talking about free speech, which is the First Amendment.
You don't need anonymity to speak, and the consequences of speech.
The internet is
come
not
along
just
with the deal.
the First Amendment, by the way.
Right, Abe.
I'd say if you have anonymity, you shouldn't have free
hang on,
speech.
Jess, you fucking spoke, right, kid? This is turn seats, right? This is how it works.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but you don't have freedom of speech, so you don't know. So just chill.
So there you go.
Oh.
So in my case,
I'm talking about Ricky. He doesn't even know what he's arguing for because he doesn't know how it works.
It is better to
So,
stay
JS, when
anonymous.
you say that our right to protest is our right to have free speech anonymously?
No, I don't think you should be allowed to wear masks at protests. We used to have laws against people wearing
Not even
masks
with masks,
until
just the fact that I'm in a large group and I'm not identified to anyone.
No, the question is,
you're out in
anonymous.
public. You're out in public with your face showing. Anybody can walk up to you with a camera and record you when you're in public protesting.
No, how can you prove that it's necessary to have
Do you
anonymity?
think that people should have a record of everywhere you go at all times?
No, but if you're going to say something, you need to be accountable and you need to tell the truth. There's responsibilities that come with our rights.
But if you have to log in everywhere you are, then everyone will have a record of everywhere you go online. You won't be
Yeah,
able to
and
go to
I mean-
a website at all without someone knowing. Without
And
the
really,
government
we're
being
talking
able to
about
track
the
you.
internet. The internet is private, so it's not even a free speech issue.
Well, no, that's what you're talking
I
about.
just don't
You're
like
talking about not
anonymity
being
on the
anonymous
internet.
online. Not being anonymous means you have to log in everywhere. And so if you have one major login, then you're going to be able to be tracked everywhere you go, every single website you go
If you
to.
believe you're not anyway, then I don't.
If you're
I
one
don't, they got a
person,
bridge to
dickhead,
tell you
go
or
on, you
something,
fucking bunch of fuck nutches, right? One person has information on all of yous right now, right? Okay. Is it dangerous, right? He gives that bit of information to somebody. You know who it is that give you. You can go after him and get him. And then if he does it anonymously, right? Is that more beneficial for his safety? That's what the
Sure,
problem
I'll
is.
grant you that, but right now the only person that essentially has that information on you is the gatekeeper of the person allowing you to bridge onto the internet, your ISP. They're the person who obviously would have that data.
Sure,
And
but
the
that
fight
doesn't
has
have to
been
do
to
with
not allow
anonymity
other
of
people to
speech.
have that data.
But if you just
But
did,
if
you
you're
gave
putting
the same
another
information with your actual details,
layer,
then
if you're anonymous
onto the internet,
if
that's
you're
a security
anonymous,
killing that
if you're
anonymity.
anonymous and you're violating a law, you can't be held accountable. So you
Yeah,
should not have free speech.
That's not what the prompt's about.
And
right?
effigy, you're
That is what the prompt's about.
No, it's not. No one said about it for personal security.
between the
So
platform and the
if
people
you're
outside.
whistleblowing, say for example, if you're whistleblowing and you can give that information where someone can check it, look it, see it's fact. But if
No,
you've done
the
it and
question
gave the
is-
actual details. Then the people that you give it
Has
about
nothing to do with the
could then
topic.
come and get you, right?
Also, would
the
you agree
prompt
that
is-
being
it does-
anonymous online protects you from people who would otherwise not be able to know who you are or where you are?
So what?
Like, don't you
Then
think
get
there's a lot of
offline.
people?
Then get off
No,
the
don't you think
internet.
there's just a lot of crazy people who they would just be able to have a whole lot of information that you
There
wouldn't
is,
want?
but that
Yeah,
doesn't
and
make
those
it
crazy
necessary.
people shouldn't be allowed to be
Don't
anonymous
you think you
either.
would be more at risk of identity theft, phishing, or cyber crimes and stuff like that if your
That's because
your
those
real name
people
was
who are
attached to
doing
everything?
that, those people who are doing that identity
I'm just
theft
gonna-
are
yeah, it is.
anonymous
I'm just
online.
gonna say now the freeze are fucking gay, right? Honestly,
If they
you've got
weren't
all
anonymous
fucking
online, and if
right?
you didn't
Honestly.
want to
And I'm
be
not listening to your
online, not
bullshit no more.
anonymous, then don't go online.
Right, GS, you change your mind as often as I change my
issue
fucking
is-
socks, mate. Right? Okay.
It's
Abe,
real
you
easy
sat there
to
with that hat
hide
on,
behind
all
an
day,
avatar
same
and say
argument.
whatever you
Aren't,
want.
You're my
aren't I
fucking point,
controlling what
We
people
were meant to
have
have a
as far as
fucking
information
right?
on me?
If
I'm
we
controlling
didn't
my
have
anonymity?
anonymity, if we didn't have anonymity on the internet, we wouldn't have so many Indian guys
Say that
robbing
again. Say that
grannies of
word
their
again.
pensions.
I bet you
The
couldn't say
question
that
is
three
it
times.
essential?
Say
And it's
anonymity
not
3 times.
essential. You can't prove essentialism for the fact that you need anonymity on the internet. You can't.
But you can't prove it
It's
otherwise,
not
though, Abe.
essential. That's what I'm saying. It is
You
not
just want it.
by
You
definition
just like it.
essential. You could use it. It
Do you
could
like
help
the fact
you, but
that,
it's
that
not
people use
essential.
your information of how you move on the internet to make them money? Like when you go on Facebook and they sell information about
Yeah,
you.
I don't care if I'm going to partake in the internet, dude. Ever since we had cell phones, everybody had all our data. If you have a Facebook, if you have a
Do you
YouTube,
think
I
you
don't
should have
care
the
about
choice on whether or
privacy
not
in the
people make
data.
money on you that
I
way?
try to live my life in a way that I don't need to really be
Is it a
worried about
zero-sum game?
privacy.
Is it wrong for people to use VPNs to block access to that information?
Is it
I
wrong
don't
for
think
people
it
to
has
use
anything to do with
VPNs?
you being
Dude,
anonymous. It's not
Sure it
essential.
does.
It's not essential.
You have spent all this time.
It depends on what you're trying to do online.
Yeah, I don't think they should be using VPNs, but also VPNs are like whack. That they use the VPNs to steal your identity.
You can see all these things are useful, but they're not essential. Like nothing that you've said proves it's essential. You could say they're useful, but they're not essential.
And if we took those things away, it would not be a violation of free speech.
So it's useful, but not essential.
Exactly.
So do you think there's?
I'd say it's a violation of free speech to have anonymity.
In what
on
circumstance?
Do you think there would be any kind of essential situation where, like, a whistleblower or an activist, a journalist, or any marginalized group who would face like something against them would need anonymity for speaking out?
Just gave you all an example before, but you always
choose wisely where they go.
Bitchy arguments with each other.
We don't like. There's a whole lack of wisdom that has happened because of not having people be who they are. In fact, if you can just run around doing all kinds of crazy stuff under the veil of anonymity, then how helpful is that to anyone?
Well, you could give me an example, because I gave you an example, a specific one where it was.
Your example fits your own thing.
Well, listen, granted, certain circumstances, people that have anonymity or hide.
I'll say if you're going to be a whistleblower, you shouldn't get anonymity, but you should get protection.
For the fucking protection of that person, because the information given out by that person.
Brick's gone.
Oh, Brick.
Self-fatality.
Brick just teleported out. I don't see the essential aspect of anonymity, and it wouldn't be a blanket anyway. So, like,
if you're going to be a whistleblower, then you have to come out publicly with your face and you have to say it. And then we will protect you. We will make sure that they can't get to you, and we can post hoc change your identity to keep you safe or put you in some sort of program
where change your
we
identity?
keep you safe. Because you're going to publicly come out and blow the whistle. But if you can do it anonymously, you could lie.
Or do it through third party. Like, that's not.
But you agree that their identity could be,
but it doesn't prove
a problem that if people knew what they did, right?
But it doesn't.
So doing it anonymously would be good, right?
It's going to be risky. There's a risk. There's a risk to exposing people, but you gotta take accountability for the good things you do and the bad things you do. So
the statement is that it would be essential, which would mean it would be a blanket across everyone.
Otherwise, we see what we see in media now, and this is why journalism and press is so garbage now, because there's no accountability. They'll say we have an anonymous source that said, I don't know if that source is legit. What is your source? They don't even tell us the sources anymore.
Okay,
They're all
but can you understand that someone might get an interview on a newspaper and say something, but they're still working for the person that they're whistleblowing on, right? Retaliation's a real thing, right?
So
yes, that's why we protect them.
But what happens if you look at that information?
Same way with witness protection.
Come up. What about in that case?
Like, I couldn't anonymously come in like a witness protection situation. I couldn't anonymously say, "Hey, I saw this guy murder somebody, and I need protection." You're gonna have to go up on the stand and testify.
And this is also arguing from
witness protection would argue for our point, though, right? That they would need the ability so that
the reason that you get
where they are.
The reason you get witness protection is because you publicly make a statement, and then they protect you, and then they change your name, they change your identity because your identity has been
you have to be fucking anonymous, right? Some of the shit people want to say, they can't, because then
a whistleblower is not anonymous to the people they're actually like whistleblowing to. You understand that, right?
That's also cowardly. Like, I can't say what I want to say unless I say it anonymously. But then you're not really saying anything.
No, because the people, it's a David versus Goliath situation. David is coming out, and this little person is saying, "I'm trying to step up to this enormous power, and the power can smush me. So I don't want them to know who I am." That's usually what
David
someone's
won.
No, that's not the point.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The point is that you can be
sure, and we want the whistleblower to win. That's why we don't want them to be retaliated
against.
But David wasn't anonymous.
11 minutes to see if we have a solo judge.
I'm not trying to jump into biblical lore, JS. It's a fucking metaphor.
Brought it up. You brought it up.
Yeah, because it's a fucking colloquial fucking saying.
Well, it was a bad one. It was a bad example.
No, small versus little. It's really simple.
Small versus little.
Or
You
small
should have
versus
said.
big, my bad.
You could have
I'm
said
too much too. I'm
you
with
could have
easy.
said Jack and the
Small
Beanstalk.
versus
Oh wait,
little,
Jack
yeah.
won against the Giant too.
Smaller versus littler.
You made me do this.
Name change.
Yeah, that's right, chat. I'll put you guys in every animation.
Maybe you could have said the tortoise and the hare. Oh wait, the tortoise won too. You could have said Jack and the Beanstalk. Oh wait, Jack beat the Giant and the Beanstalk.
See, William gets it. William gets it.
Well, individuals don't.
And none of
often
them
beat
were anonymous.
corporations.
Shut up, Jess. You don't even know who I really am, man, do you?
So you don't think there's any reason for whistleblower protections at all?
Anonymity on the internet is gay.
Well, the thing is like, so you are granted anonymity on the internet. You're not granted anonymity off the internet. Why do we need the internet to grant you a thing that you don't have outside, right?
Yeah, it's also not even a First Amendment issue, but
Right.
so it doesn't violate your First Amendment to have
You all have to bear in mind, I'm looking at this.
I mean, Abe has a great point. Abe had a great point about, it is useful, just like, but it's not essential, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it might be
it's
because
fun.
it can hurt you anonymously as well. So for like
It-
privacy-free
it can be
speech and like
fun.
digital safety, you need an anonymity on the internet because people can also
You don't
hurt
need
you
it.
anonymously.
Real quick. Hold up.
Go ahead.
I'm putting the poll in right now, chat. Okay, so listen up. If you guys want to vote for, this man right here, you're voting for Abe Dinkus on the poll. All right. If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for JS Urban Adventures on the poll.
Voting for chair.
If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Animated Effigy on the poll. All right. And if you want to vote for, I thought you left again. If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Bricky on the
And
poll.
I didn't leave, by the way. It was a computer glitch.
Yeah, I
What's happening
figured
on the
that's
internet?
what happened. Good thing a couple minutes got added, anyways. But chat, I'm starting the timer over. Put your votes in. And if you don't see the voting poll, refresh. You'll see it.
Yeah, right. I mean, so effigy, you can make steps to give yourself anonymity, just like in off the internet. You can do things to try to conceal your identity and all those things. I have no problem with you putting forth the effort to give to have identity, but to simply say it's essential, that means that you're granting anonymity out of the gates, and I don't think that that's essential. If it were essential, it would be something that we'd have to grant you off the internet as well.
Well, would you say that it's essential for everyone to be logged in everywhere at all times right now?
Not essential, no.
No, you can go live in the woods.
Then if anonymity is not essential and non-anonymity on the internet is not essential, what is essential?
Look at again. I'm just looking at it.
Food, water, shelter.
From the poor woman
On the internet,
that's in jail
JS.
now for the Facebook
Access.
post, right? That's what she said.
Nothing on the internet is essential.
So there you go,
if she
just
had been
people.
anonymous-
Yeah, the internet isn't essential purely by itself.
And so how did we
I
get
agree.
them all on the internet? From allowing them to be anonymous.
Usefulness.
No,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people who have never been anonymous on the internet, and the anonymous people are the ones who
I
are usually
think-
scamming
I
you.
think almost everyone has been anonymous on the internet.
And plus, I just don't like trolls.
Yeah, I bet you if we look through your internet history, GS, I bet you're on a few sites where you're anonymous. Yeah, there you go, people.
No, I mean, well, like
Yeah,
I might have a username and I might not have any pictures on a site, but
Yeah, let's not go through that internet history because there'll be some dark things on there. So just move on.
Well, I mean, wait, hang on, wait.
So
Ricky,
should we post everyone's internet history in the town square in our towns?
That's not the same thing.
I know.
you're making a
Well, then put it out there. Go on, put your internet history out there.
That was sly, but it's not the same thing.
If I had had a chance to speak through the fucking debate, right?
Well-
get dropped in, but you're all little bitches.
Well, if
3
you're-
years, so I just sat and drank whiskey.
Hey, what's the First Amendment in the UK?
Real quick.
You haven't got one.
Real quick.
My point is
That's why I didn't let you talk, Britt.
votes. Thank you to everybody who voted. The rest of you are furry lovers. All right. But to the ones who voted, you're the best. All right. But 43 votes. All right. And 37% says that the winner of the four-way battle is JS Urban Adventures. And coming in second place, oh, wait a minute, a tie for second place once again between Animated Effigy and Abe Dinkus at 27%. And then we got Bricky at 6% coming in last.
That much. That much.
Yes. So first we got to start here. Bricky, tell everyone where we find you and why they got to bring you back for another shot at the $250 prize.
I just want to know who the 6% were that voted for us, because, like I say, everyone else knows I just want to sit and drink whiskey now, because my head has been pounding this whole time, right? And I
was wondering why you were extra quiet.
Oh, my life. It's boiling hot over here, man. Easy. It's fucking 30-odd degrees in that, man. It's no good. It's sweating like
30 degrees. That's freezing.
You
need Fuck off, you dickhead, right?
That's below freezing point.
God bless you all. I'll be sitting listening. Right, okay.
Hey, always a pleasure having you, Brick. And, you know, if they do bring you up, you know, you're more than welcome. And until then, my friend.
Your soul is mine.
Fatality.
Another soul added into the Safe of Souls. And that's how it goes on Verbal Kombat Friday, baby. And because we had a tie once again had a tie for second place, what we're going to have to do here is once again put everyone to the back. All right. All right. We got everyone in the back here. Okay, we got everyone in the back here. All right, and now we gotta, you know, I think instead of continuing on the same topic, we will actually find a new topic for you two. I think that's a good idea. The chat deserves some extra blood. They've been coming in hard. How about this? Should private companies be allowed to sell user data?
No.
Did you say what you?
I think you said no. Might be a no on this one as well. But without, I might be a no without consent.
That's what I
know without
exactly what I would say. If they have consent, it'd be a whole different ballgame. But if you
I was saying that earlier when I brought up having a digital bill of rights.
Okay. What about this? This is one of the topics for tonight. Let me see what you guys think of this. The privacy-focused technology like VPNs is more of a negative impact.
Sure.
I'm for VPN, so.
I literally don't know enough about VPNs to even argue this because I don't use them. So
it just reroutes your IP to make it trick the web that you're somewhere else in the world.
I could argue the negative on it.
Yeah?
Yeah, let's do it. They cause more harm.
Let's fucking go. All right, chat. Because this one is a tiebreaker, Okay, this one here is going to 6 minutes, no time added. All right, so you can't add time. You can solo judge still. And if we don't get a solo judge, it's going to go to the chat poll, and the loser of the poll will lose their soul. So, fighters, good luck to both of you, and let's get it.
So I'm a big proponent of VPNs. I feel like this is the third debate in a row where I'm gonna say this, but they enhance your privacy. They stop places on the internet from knowing your particular IP, which is what a lot of malicious sites and actors can use to attack your computer specifically. They improve your security overall. And frankly,
they also allow you to evade being discovered when you're doing nefarious actions. Yes or no?
Oh, sure. You can use any tool in a bad way.
Sure. I'm just saying that if you're going to commit any kind of digital crime, VPN is a great way to cover your tracks, steal from people, harm the public, possibly evade governments when you're being sought out. I could imagine that actually is a net negative in the long run for society, all because some people want to watch Netflix from a different area.
Wait, do you think VPNs exist just because people want to watch streaming services from a different area?
I'm just saying that I bet you that they're primarily
I would think that even though you're being flippant about that point, I would say that the entire point of the internet is that it was supposed to link us all worldwide, and for a short amount of time we had that, and then they've been slowly sectioning off the internet back into small pieces of the world that we can't access anymore.
I think that the internet was not created so that we could all connect with each other. It was created so that governments could communicate with each other, and that government interagencies communicated with each other easier, share information easier, as well as the scientific community, but not the general public. This is like a monstrosity.
When it was rolled out to the public, right? Sure, I'll agree. DARPA had a different use for the internet before it was rolled out to the public, but when it came to the public, we basically started using it as a mass like communications web that linked us all. And there are people who are trying to put walls back on it, because there was a time, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time where we didn't have so many walls between, and we could access things from different countries really easily without.
I remember.
And it's not just Netflix now, and they're trying to, the same way they've commodified everything, they want to split it apart, offer people different things in different places.
Sure, and that's the prerogative as private businesses. The problem that I would say, again, is that if you create such a shield of anonymity that you can get away with anything all over the place and not be trackable, depending on how many bounces you can create the VPN to utilize, then you've, in essence, created the perfect way to get away with all kinds of digital crime.
Can't that be an argument that it's made for tracking human beings in the real world, though? If I don't know where you are at all times and I can't know what crimes you commit, does a government have a right to know what I'm doing at all times?
No, but what I'm saying is that it makes it possible to do it without even noticing that it's being done regardless. So like if it's something that would obviously be noticed on the daily basis, your VPN is going to allow you to continue to do these things behind the veil of anonymity.
If there was a car that someone made that by its characteristics allowed someone to break laws really easily with it, should we not sell that car because it can be used to break laws with?
I don't think that that's analogous.
Sure it is. VPNs it's just a tool, right? I'm just trying to use it to do something. And you're saying that it can be used to do something bad. If we can make that argument to say, then I could use that argument for everything. I could say
because the car can be seen from the side of the road, they can be watched, they can be followed. That's exactly the opposite of what a VPN does. It covers the ability to be tracked. The car is the travel device. The VPN blocks the travel device's ability to be noticed or seen. Your IP traveling through the system, or your connection being tracked through the system, is the car. The VPN is blocking the ability to track the car. You'd be more talking about like some invisibility cloak.
Right. Your ISP will always be able to track you, right? So it's not complete anonymity, right? Your ISP will always know what you're doing. It's just from whatever you're connecting to on the other end.
Well, that's the point. If you're multi-linking and bouncing enough times, you're still creating a veil of invisibility over that car. So it's disanalogous. I don't think that the car allows you to travel places without ever being seen, like the VPN basically does. Do you think that the car is the VPN, or do you think the VPN is covering the car to keep it from being seen?
Well, no, in my analogy, it would be this car is made to go faster than all other cars can be made, so they could outrun cop cars. Therefore, it's illegal. It can something illegal. Therefore, we shouldn't sell it, right?
I still don't think that's
it
that
can
that's
do
analogous.
that with it, but you don't have to use it to do that. Or are you arguing that just the idea that it can go faster than a speed limit itself makes it bad, right? Just the idea that a VPN enables anonymity on the internet makes it bad intrinsically.
That it makes it invisible and capable of
I know,
doing
but I don't have
things
the.
that
I'm
are
trying
nefarious.
to use an example that has an actual capability in the real world. Sorry, that's why I'm not
Well,
making
that's
up
what I'm
invisibility
saying.
cloaks to make it sound better.
That's what I'm saying, that the car
Because,
doesn't.
well, I mean, the utility is still the same. We're still talking about the utility of a tool.
By all kinds of things, you could track it with thermal. There's a ton of ways that you could track a vehicle that you're not going to be able to track the same way with a VPN.
You're getting caught up in the minutia of the analogy instead of seeing what the analogy is. You're doing the forest for the trees thing. Like, it's just a tool that does a thing. I can use that tool for good or bad. Why is the fact that I can possibly use it for bad mean that it has to be treated as bad? Because I hear this exact argument for guns all the time.
Because I would say that the net negative aspect of it comes to a point where people in or outside of countries that do or do not allow things in those countries can then exploit the system to gain in substantial ways that harm the public in general.
I'll let it get to 7 minutes, see if we have a solo judge.
So, but the ways that you're saying that they can use a VPN to harm me, I can use a VPN to protect me from that, right?
Well, it's not the same. It's, again, that doesn't make sense. The VPN is making that person untrackable. It's them funneling money through a certain route that is untrackable. It's conducting planning. It's all kinds of things that it could be used.
Sure, it allows them to do bad things through the internet. But
They don't
doesn't a
even
VPN
work.
allow me to protect myself from bad things on the internet?
No, all they do is make more links in the chain that are easier to break. So you have multiple points of access. Every tech guy that I watched when I was setting up my computer said, don't get a VPN, they're scams.
Oh, weird.
Wait, but
all right, real quick, chat. I am putting the poll. I just put it in there for you now. Okay. So if you, want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Abe Dinkus on the poll. All right. If you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Animated Effigy on the poll. Chat, get your votes in right now. I'm starting this timer over. You got 2 minutes.
So it was this topic.
And yeah, I want to watch my streaming that I can't watch because only British people get to watch it. Fuck that shit.
Was this topic solely on the VPN services that the average Joe is using to reroute his traffic for streaming and stuff like that, or does this also extend to the utility of organizations using that to extend their network to other data centers or cloud and things like that in a secure format?
See, Jeremy, this is why I do the prompts the way I do them, because you could explain it to this, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking. I wasn't sure if the prompt specifically
wasn't specific. No, it wasn't specific.
He's giving it room for us to argue out and around in that idea without limits.
Yeah, so I mean, I use a VPN all day, every day, 7 days a week. I'm connected to a VPN for work.
Well, you're fired.
Stop.
You're fired.
No, the truth of the matter is, I actually don't have a strong stance on this.
Is that your company? That's through your company, though. That's not a personal. Maybe there's a difference between maybe those tech guys were just talking about they said NordVPN, McAfee.
Well,
those are all garbage.
There's different arguments to be made, but that's why I was specifically asking the question if we were arguing the use of VPN for like the average Joe just to reroute his traffic for nefarious purposes, such as changing his location for streaming or for putting on an eye patch and downloading things. Or does it include the utilization of corporate networks and things like that to extend their local data center to having a private secure connection to a cloud provider, or to their employees connecting in and using the internal resources in a secure way that's just not over the open internet?
Yeah, we need
All right, real quick. We got 40. Oh, just one sec. We got 46 votes. All right. Thank you to everyone who voted. I appreciate you all. 46 votes, and it was a close one. But 56% said that the winner of the 1v1 is Abe Dinkus. So, Animated Effigy, tell everyone in the chat where we can find you and why they got to bring you back for another shot at the $250 prize.
I'll be in the back waiting for a revive. Bring me back for more blood. Until then.
Let's fucking go. Always a pleasure having you, Effigy. If they bring you back, you're more than welcome. And until then, my friend.
You so fatality.
Another soul added into the safe of souls. And that's how it goes on Verbal Kombat Friday, baby. So, we also, before we bring up the next people, we also had a 1v1 request. John Cena versus the winner. So, Martae versus the winner. That means Abe is going to be put through the ringer here, too, because this is 3 in a row. We got an initiation.
Was Abe the winner or was I the winner?
3 in a row. What?
Did he send it during the 4?
Yeah, the winner of the tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going to get everyone else into the back. I got to move Effigy to the soul room for now. All right.
It's a new topic. Are we saying before the VPN? Are we still on that?
No, we're gonna bring up a different topic for you too. Just because Abe just went through that one, so it'll be more fresh for the chat. Let's see where you guys stand with this one. Torture is justified in the name of security.
I would say yes.
I think I've argued yes on this topic before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have. Yeah, so you're both on the same side of that one. So let me see here. Where do you guys stand on the company should be stopped from selling private data?
I'd say yes if permission was not given prior.
Yeah, same here. Hate to agree. Yeah, let's get something else.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Let me see here. Let me bring up my list over here.
Good luck, Abe, by the way.
Thank you. Same to you.
Oh, this one here is always a lot of the time we get separate sides here. National security is more important than individual privacy.
I agree. National security is more important than individual privacy.
Okay. I think you stand on that side too as well. Yeah. All right. Let me see.
Hey, you know you can play devil's advocate anytime, right?
I do. The problem is I don't want to argue certain things outwardly that I do not believe in a way that will be used.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I have certain topics I'm the same way on, so I get that. Would you guys okay? Is government surveillance effective in preventing crime?
Is government surveillance good in preventing crime?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it effective? Yeah.
I don't think
I'd
it's
say yes.
effective.
It's a good deterrent. Yeah.
And what did you say, Abe?
I said I don't think it's an effective deterrent.
So you are on the opposite sides here? Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Cool. All right, so let's chat. Let me give you all a reminder. Okay, this is actually, let me, because I heard a couple things come in, so let me check chat, make sure. Well, we got one of those.
You made me do this.
Name change.
Too good. That animation slaps too. Okay, chat. We are going to a 5 minutes to start. Okay, chat. If you guys want to add on minutes, okay, it is 10 to add on a minute. It is 60 if you want to solo judge. If we don't get a solo judge, it will go to the chat poll, and the loser of the poll will lose their soul. Let me actually make sure I got the right ticker going across the bottom for you guys as well, because that says 10 minutes. That was the old one. All right. Fighters, good luck to both of you. Let's get it.
So, Martae, I would say you took the affirmative, right? You said it is effective. Why is it effective?
It's effective because we have systems in place. If you look at a body has what? An immune system. Absent immune system, we have allowance. And with allowance, you just have things that you just allow to continue. We do need to have deterrents in play. Absent these deterrents, can you tell me any justification why we don't need a deterrent?
No, I would actually argue that it's not a deterrent, but an after effect, and it's reactionary.
Well, I think approach determines response. So if you're talking about like the FBI fan outside the place, nobody notices this. So it doesn't need to be visual deterrent. Also, we can also have deterrents that are physical. So one of the first uses of force is presence. Would you agree on that?
In some cases, yeah.
So
yeah.
I would say in most cases, I would say one of the first uses of force is maybe officer presence, things like this. They'll use this on the use of force continuum. So the reason why they use this is you could argue and say, well, no, it doesn't deter everything. No, but the only way to prove this is Chris Brown can have a bodyguard with him, right? And this would represent government security. If you have this bodyguard with him, if nothing happens, that would be a static mode of insurance that you can't see as that's protection that doesn't even need to be activated, constantly present. And everybody just acknowledges that, hey, I'm not going to go ahead and screw with Chris Brown because
we're talking about surveillance. We're not talking about presence. We're talking about surveillance. If you have surveillance, that doesn't mean that people, one, know that it's there, or two, care that it's there. They see cameras in every McDonald's. They still do illegal things there. They see cameras all over the world all of the time. They're so desensitized. I don't think it's a deterrent. I think it's a response tool, but I don't think it's a deterrent to anything.
I think it's a good deterrent. If you look online, you'll have deterrents online. There'll be fake dummy deterrents. Case in point, matter of fact, the sales are on the rise of these things, posting stickers outside of houses, fake car alarms, things like this. There's even a category online where you can buy fake deterrents. Sure. So I think that even if you have fake deterrents, they do work. I would also presuppose that the sales indicate this too, as well too. So this is universal, not just with national security.
I would say that I would agree on the home deterrence, but I don't believe that it works the same way when you're talking about government deterrence, because you're talking about what satellites, you're talking about tapping, you're talking about the ability to use cameras from places that people cannot see. These things don't work as deterrents. They are like you said, immune system. The immune system doesn't do anything until something is detected. First, it has to be detected. So I don't see it as a deterrent, more of a reaction.
So one thing I'll tell you is that when you log onto a site and it says FBI or something like this, and it'll say warning, Do not proceed. Do you think many people try to just do this? The random layman will just go ahead and try to continue to break into a system with this visible deterrent that's present. Do you think that people look at this, it's like, oh, this is a fun time, let me go ahead and crack the code?
But see, that's not the surveillance act. That's literally a warning. The warning is a deterrent, sure, but the surveillance itself isn't. Just because they can track what you're doing on that website doesn't mean you're going to be deterred. It means.
Can I ask you a question?
React. Yeah.
Why do people cover up their cameras on computers?
Because they don't want people seeing their faces.
Oh, so okay. So they're presupposing that there is a deterrent, even if they're not actively being watched or anything like this. People actively have behavior that's indicative of, I just don't want to be watched or surveilled, right? Wait, hold on. I thought it was reactionary. Nothing has happened yet.
Privacy
they're covering their camera.
That's also, again, a privacy thing. That has nothing to do with the deterrence in say, the general public. I don't think that cameras or surveillance or any form of government surveillance actually deters people from taking actions. Otherwise, we would see a huge stifling in all kinds of actions that we don't see, where we know surveillance is.
Did you know last year they went ahead and implemented something where you can go ahead and swipe something on your computer and just they changed laptops as a whole, so that way government man with with people with tinfoil hats will say, well, no, the government's spying on me. Do you think that this populace exists that integrated a whole new model of computer laptops where you can go ahead and move this thing over and it covers up your camera? That's what I mean.
Do you think that's a cry for privacy, or do you think that's a deterrence to something being done wrong? Because deterrence, they're not deterring anything. All they're doing is stopping them from looking.
No, this is your counter to saying, no, it's a reaction. How is this happening before a reaction? You're saying it's a counter to a reaction when nothing has happened, right? Nothing is indicated that you're being spied on or anything like that by any government entity.
Anything then.
Yet they voted for this to happen on laptops as a whole.
But that's still not a deterrence then. People are covering their cameras. It's not deterring crime. It's not deterring.
Well, covering your camera is a deterrent. You're deterring some behavior by action. Approach always determines response, and their approach is even before a response is happening. So this is to your counter to say that, okay, well, because this is a response happening, what I'm saying is countering that, saying that people are doing this before anything has happened, before they're even thinking they're being surveilled. Do people act in a way where they're saying, I'm just going to prevent government surveillance and just do all these things, get a deterrent, cover up my camera and computer, do all this other stuff? Why do people do this if you're saying it's just a response? They're doing this pre anything happening.
Because that's not the act of surveillance. The act of surveillance that would actually prompt the stopping of things.
What are they avoiding?
Isn't happening. They're keeping privacy. More people than not will just keep privacy. You could also hack that camera. Somebody else could hack
privacy from.
It doesn't have to be the government. Anyone could hack into somebody else.
Maybe not the government, but they're doing this in general, right?
Yeah, sure.
This in general, right?
So
this could be government. This could be anybody else. Meaning, I'm on a government site or anywhere else. I want to go ahead and just cover up that camera, no matter what.
And what's that
deterring? Integrated in all computers last year.
Where's the deterrence? What is that deterring?
This is changing behavior. This is indicating that you want to use a precautionary measure to avoid surveillance. This is what we're doing to duck and dodge and avoid surveillance. Case in point, the VPN issue. We're doing this to show that we're not in Jakarta when we're going ahead. In case in point, when we go ahead and watch movies, there's always a thing saying government, whatever this and that's a federal crime to record movies and do these other things. Well, people use VPNs to avoid what? Government exposure, business corruption, all this other stuff from being found out. People do this all the time. It's actually ruined the movie industry. It's ruined people's careers and lives with jobs, things like this.
So because they have VPNs,
by the government for doing this.
Because they have VPNs, that's not deterring them from doing things. They'll do it anyway. They'll just use a VPN. Just like anything else, they will find a way to not be deterred.
Evade deterrents. Can you tell me how they're not avoiding deterrence by buying VPNs, covering up cameras?
That means they're not deterred. Evasion is not being deterred. Evasion of deterrence is not being deterred.
So evasion is a form of counter to deterrence. Would you not agree with that?
What I'm saying is, if you have evaded, you are not needing to.
But you're assuming that people have evaded. Obviously, there's a reason why VPNs exist and camera coverings for laptops exist, because somebody has gotten caught before. People are avoiding government surveillance and other forms of surveillance by this. So why do they exist?
I'll let you get to 8 minutes and 30 seconds to see if we have a solo judge.
That's my point. It's not deterring the behavior. They'll just find ways to get around it.
So what you're talking about is that there is a deterrent that's happening and you're avoiding this. You're saying, oh, people are just deterring by finding other methods to avoid, use avoidance, mitigation, things like this, and limit.
You made me do this.
Name change.
Oh, you have yourself muted there. Oh, okay.
The dope animation, by the way. Yeah,
that's badass. It, like,
yeah,
spins me every
FNG
time.
killed that for sure.
Yeah, but I think the just the purchasing of evasion tools indicates that there's something that we're going ahead and avoiding. Because it's a deterrent. We're going ahead and finding ways around this. You're going to go ahead and dig a tunnel under walls because the wall's a deterrent, right? Just saying, pointing to the hole in the ground around the wall and other evasion tools is indicating that the thing that we're avoiding is creating a deterrent so that we can find a ways around it.
That's what I'm saying.
So
They're not deterrent.
It just may not be good. Like dummy cameras may prohibit people from breaking in a building. It just may not be a good deterrent, but it's still a deterrent nonetheless. Which is why people still buy.
All right, real quick.
Things like that.
Chat, I'm putting the poll in right now. Okay. So if you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Abe Dinkus on the poll. And if you want to vote for this man right here, you're voting for Martae Raylis. Is that how you say it? Raylis?
Yeah, it's Martae Raylis.
Okay,
Raylis,
perfect.
yeah.
Martae Raylis on the poll, guys. Put your votes in right now, chat. If you don't see the poll, hit that refresh because I'm starting the timer over and you got 2 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah, so what I was saying is that people are buying items, they're buying materials to go ahead and evade deterrence. Why are people evading these things if they're not a deterrent? People always find ways around certain structures, designs, things that are built and implemented to go ahead and get around things. They're using evasion, avoidance.
Can I ask you a question?
Because it is a deterrent.
If you evade the deterrent, are you undeterred?
If you're evading deterrent, people, so you have something that's the delayed onset. We'll have technology that's constantly trying to keep up, right? Hence, downloading movies from VPN. They're going to find something to counter that. It's always going to happen. So this deterrent is always going to be 1 foot ahead. So it doesn't mean that it's not a deterrent. It still means it's a deterrent. It's just
Hang
behind.
on, easy.
Mouse
Easy.
game,
What was the topic here? Wasn't the topic is surveillance an effective deterrent, right? That was the topic. So you even conceded the point that it's not a good deterrent, but you're arguing that it is a deterrent. We can easily.
Yeah, I was arguing that it is a deterrent. I might have not heard the prompt all the way, but yeah.
It's not an
Maybe
effective
not.
deterrent,
That's
but
how
it
it
is
happens.
a deterrent. We grant you that.
I always wish that the prompt was still on the screen too, because I do that too. I'll like forget what
Yeah,
words
I
are in
kind
it.
of got lost in the weeds. And I was like, okay, is it a deterrent?
I thought that's what was happening too, that they both started moving a little bit away from it, but I was enjoying the debate, so I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I just had a debate with Wilson as a partner. We were saying that capital punishment is a deterrent, and I just got that in my head for some reason. It's weird. So
It's that debate brain, man. It takes over.
It is a deterrent. Capital punishment.
Right, we'll all grant it is a.
Hey, I'm going to agree. It's not a deterrent. It's just not a good deterrent. It is a deterrent. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, you said the second the debate was over, that was the first thing you said is it's not a good deterrent.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I thought the prompt. And my listening skills are spot tonight.
Oh wow, you conceded.
Well, we have the votes locked in. 48 votes. Shout out to everyone in the chat that voted, by the way. You're all amazing. Okay. And it was super close here. 48 votes. 52% says the winner of the 1v1 is Martae Raylis. Abe Dinkus, tell everybody in the chat where we can find you and why they got to bring you back for another shot at the $250 prize.
Well, you can find me at Abe Dinkus. Bring me back if you just want more of the top hat, I guess.
Let's fucking go. Always a
Nice to meet
pleasure
you,
having you, Abe. If they bring you back, you're more than welcome. Chat mods, make sure you share Abe's channel in the chat. And until next time, my friend.
The clip didn't play.
Your soul is mine.
Fatality.
Another soul added to the Safe of Souls. And I'm sorry, Abe, I had to do that. I've always wanted I always wanted someone to get into a position and then I wanted to leave it there. I finally got to do it. And that was great. But make sure you all go follow Abe. Abe's amazing. All right. And that was a great 1v1. But before we can even move on here, before we can keep going, we actually have another 1v1 to get into right away. Patrick had sent in 20 for Jeremy versus Winner Fund. Okay. And
I thought that said
he
winner.
got another 20 via Cash App. So let's get everyone else again into the back. Got to move Abe over to the soul room. Keep Jeremy there. Emmett, gotta put you back. And then let's see here. Let's get a new topic for you two.
Oh wait, hold on. My name changed. I'm sorry. I'm new to this.
Yeah, that's one of the moves they do. Is name changes.
All right, man. I'm with it.
Easy just wanted to claim a president's soul. Hey, he came out of the grave. I had to put him back in, you know? All right, let me see here. This is kind of like the VPN's question a little bit, but it's a little bit different as well. So, should individuals be able to encrypt all their online communications?
Should they be able to?
Yeah.
Sure.
Should they be able to encrypt all their online communications?
Sure.
I agree. I don't have any quarrel with that or debate against that.
Okay. Is Jeremy, I forget, where are you on the national security versus individual freedom?
National security. Oh, you talking about is that the personal data topic or?
No, that national security is more important than individual privacy.
Yeah, I think your privacy can be forgone for the sake of national security, but you have to be able to justify that privacy was essentially violated in the name of national security. Like it wouldn't just be a blanket, oh, national security, boom, we got this data. Like you'd have to be able to justify.
Yeah,
that.
I'd agree with that. That's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Let me go down my list over here a little more.
Speakeasy, how big is this list?
Oh, I got a huge list here, and some of them are like a little similar, so I know you guys will be on the same side of them. So I'm trying to make sure we don't do those. Should citizens have the right to know when they're being surveilled?
No.
Not when, no.
Beaver. No devil's advocate tonight, bro.
I I don't do devil's advocate. I only argue.
Man, you can't even cosplay tonight, bro. What's up with that, bro?
I'm not Beaver, by the way.
Oh, okay. Jeremy, my bad. I saw Beaver. First thing I saw. Okay.
That's funny.
Trying to fix my reading comprehension skills from the previous debate. Go ahead.
Should biometric data be protected as personal privacy?
I would say, you mean like fingerprints?
Like PII, yeah.
I would say, yeah, that should be protected.
Yeah, biometric data is PII, so yes.
Yeah, you could be a patient somewhere and that could leak, things like that.
Where do you guys stand on should whistleblowers be protected?
Oh, they should be protected.
Yeah, well, I mean, I literally debated that they should be.
Yeah, I was just seeing if maybe he was going to be on the opposite side of you there. What